Hi, my love. It's Jeremy, Lady Girl from Around the Way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to you all with some commentary about a clip that I saw with a author and lawyer. I think he was on the Katie Couric show. I don't know if you guys are aware of him. His name is Bryan Stevenson, and I wanted to talk about something when it comes to Black people and our plight and how we have to manage and maneuver in this life. So before I get into it, make sure you like this video and subscribe if you like and enjoy this type of commentary. We are talking about cultural commentary and things that relate to us in a way that can help shift and change our paradigm so we can live the life that we deserve. Now, please go ahead and like this video. Let's get into it. I'll play the clip here.
Harvard Law School. I've got a lot of degrees and awards. I've won cases at the U.S. Supreme Court, and I've been in courtrooms representing clients, getting there early, sitting at defense counsel's table, where the judge will walk in and immediately get mad at me. The judge will look at me and say, hey, you get back out there in the hallway. I don't want any defendants sitting in my courtroom without their lawyer. And I have to stand up and say, well, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I am the lawyer. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Bryan Stevenson. I have to try to de-escalate this situation. And I was doing that recently. I was in a courtroom in the Midwest, and the judge started laughing, but it wasn't an apologetic laugh. And it kind of angered me. And the prosecutor started laughing. They thought it was so funny. And I was sitting there getting angry. And then I thought, oh no, Bryan, you can't get angry. You need to smile. You may need to laugh. And I felt that way. I thought that way because my client was not going to be able to leave that county. I was able to leave that county and never come back based on the way I was treated if I chose to do that. But my client was going to have to stay there. So when they were laughing, I smiled. And then I eventually chuckled. Client came in, we did the hearing. But I remember sitting in my car after that hearing thinking, wow, here I am, this middle-aged Black man. I'm in my best suit. I actually argued the case at the Supreme Court that we were trying to implement. I've got all of these degrees and awards, and I'm still required to laugh at my own humiliation to do justice for my client. That's not right. That's not fair. And I'm getting old enough to know that when you have to constantly navigate presumptions of dangerousness and guilt because of your color, when you have to tell your children how to survive a police encounter, what to do and what not to do, how they can't do the things that their white friends can do because they're going to be burdened with this presumption, when you have to constantly navigate this world, it's exhausting. And I want something better. I want something better for everybody. And that's why the commitment to truth-telling, the commitment to building institutions that help us understand the harms of history is such a priority.
Now, I wanted to talk about this for two reasons, because I feel that a lot of times in this new political climate, it's so easy to say, oh, well, why don't you just get over this? And, this is not really happening to you. And, you're just making these things up and, pick yourself up by the bootstrap. But I think it's important to continue to have the conversations because this truly, truly impacts people of color. Because people like to, put it on us to be like, well, you guys are just making this up. It's not really a thing. And you have the Candace Owens of the world, to say like, oh, that's not, Black people need to get over it or whatever. But this is a man who is in very professional spaces. You understand what I'm saying? He is a Harvard graduate. He has developed, the Equal Justice Initiative. He has done things in his career, both, humanitarian and, just in the justice system. He's around professionals. Now imagine you are just living your life, regular average person working at motherfucking Walmart. Of course you're going to experience some sort of discrimination, and it's a way that's very sinister and insidious that kind of creeps up on you. You understand what I'm saying? And we all know and recognize that we have to play the game. The moment we don't play the game, we're viewed as a threat, we're viewed as, whatever, and then they can go ahead and see, look, this is exactly what's happening. You have to know, and I'm saying specifically people who don't really fully understand the grips and the weight and the depth of what it is to carry that type of burden for years in settings where you have to make money to provide for your family. Otherwise, y'all can't eat. It's literally life or death. And to go around and have this type of mental weight, to always be on, to always understand, to read the room, to disarm people, to ignore microaggression, to show up even when you don't want to. Let's take away the regular shit of a regular job. but then to also navigate the psychological warfare and oftentimes gaslighting, because it's like, oh, that's, I didn't mean it that way. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. But yeah, you know, you couple that with 10 years of working professional experience, right? Now, we're not even talking about outside of work, just at work, at your workplace where you make your money on. It's exhausting, it's draining, it's damaging, it's psychologically damaging. Okay. And I'm saying this because I was talking to someone and they were like, well, I just don't get, like, people who are like in their 50s, like black people who are in their 50s are they're so mean, they're so hard. And yeah, because they have lived a certain amount of time having to deal with that shit. I can only imagine, it's like when you're a kid and you're starting off new in your life, you're like so pure and so innocent. By the time you're 35 in life, then you on your second divorce. No, I'm not the pure innocent child anymore. You get hardened. And so I wanted to come to you all with this, video, because it was really truly impactful how that the guy was able to kind of manage one, the situation and circumstance, because we're always having to manage, right? We're always having to be the one to be in control, to disarm the people, like, the whole everything, just to kind of get our point across. There's nothing to, like, we can't simply exist. And so when people say, oh yeah, well, I don't see why, and this, that, and the third, because it's infuriating to see others who do basically nothing and mediocre lifestyle and half as good be praised for nothing, it can become a lot. So wherever you are under the sound of my voice, please be kind to yourself, be kind to people in general, who especially if you know that they are going through the same things that you're going through. No sense for us to start infighting and whatever. And in a world where we are so gaslit to think that the thing that is happening to us is not happening to us, right? It's important to sometimes hear and affirm it so that way we can better prepare ourselves when we are navigating this world. Another thing worth mentioning is the fact that this man is educated. He is showing up in his fineries. He is well spoken, obviously. And a lot of times, Black people can equate, or have this sense of tokenism. Well, I'm not like that. I'm not that kind of Black. I'm this kind of Black. It don't make no difference, baby. I want to remind y'all that that does not matter. Surely you can have access to, more, social upward mobility or whatever the case, but when it boils down to it, like when we get to the nooks and the crannies of it, you still have to understand where these people view you and how people perceive you. It only makes it easier for you when you're navigating this life. Surely there's a level of protection when, they say ignorance is bliss. You can navigate certain things without the pressures of knowing, but eventually it'll catch up to you. Or you have a sense of, some sort of psychosis, psychotic break, because you just don't understand. And now you're this 50-year-old person and you're just so disillusioned about the actual real world. Surprise, girl, we're waking things up so that way we can be better equipped, so we can get the things that we need, deserve, and want in our lifetime. You know what I mean? And also, like, the Midwest is so, like, people always singing it's the South, baby. It's the Midwest and in the North. Okay, this is all over. You cannot change how these people view you. You can only change how you handle yourself in the circumstances that you are given. Let me know what you think about this. Have you experienced anything like this in the past? How did you navigate it? And how are you feeling mentally? Drop it down in the comments. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.